Hey, welcome back to another fun-filled Welcome to the intro. This is episode 6 of the Action Cartoon Bros.
Action Toon Bros.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm still kind of, going back from when I was the old radio
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't do that.
Action Toon Bros.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't choose to do that for this episode, but that's not how the first episode even starts. So.
No, it's not. It actually starts off a little differently, but This is our episode 6, which is Legend of Korra, episodes 7 through 9.
Yep.
And
my name is Matthew Lewis.
And my name is Ben Sturgeon, and wow, we have a lot to cover today.
Oof from a goof. Shit real pops off today.
Well, I guess we'll just go right into it with episode 7, The Aftermath.
Yes.
As you may have remembered from before, Amon attacked the...
Oh, I was going to say, you're going to point out how the last time is done by Tarlok.
Yes, it is.
This is a really Tarlok-focused couple of episodes.
I was going to give them a refresher course.
Okay.
But then again, they're probably listening to this. But anyway, this episode starts off with Tarlok, not the actual announcer guy, talking about how Chief Beifong needs to resign because she didn't
her for effing it up somehow.
Yeah, just blames her because that's
not for
Tarlok
saying that
for you.
insane thing that happened.
And after all his talking, because Tarlok is totally not a villain.
Shush. Well, if they watch these episodes, I guess they know.
Hey, look, I've been making that joke since I first met Tarlok.
Oh yeah, you were suspicious of him the beginning.
I still am, even though right now he's not.
Well, hey, don't spoil more.
I'm not spoiling anything. Who
knows?
Anyway, so the episode finally begins with Korra going to the very destroyed bending tournament arena.
Yep.
Where, as you may remember, Bolin and Mako were living in the attic.
Yep. Now they are out of a home because the arena is being shut down.
Indeed. And Korra, in typical Korra fashion, is like, hey, you guys can totally live with me at the air temple.
Yeah,
and they're like, hey, that's great, but...
we have a much better offer by the lovely Asami, who's allowing them to move into her goddamn mansion.
Yes. And as if on cue, Asami's just like, hey, Korra,
yeah,
how you
being
doing?
all nice and court's just like, ugh, girl.
Yeah, and of course, she's like, ugh, I don't like you. You're so girly, girl. And then she's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave. But you can come to the mansion tomorrow. Yeah, I totally have to airbending. And of course, with a little bit of help from the best character ever, Pabu.
Well, of course.
Oh, come on.
It's like, all right, Pabu, I'll do it for you.
for Pabu, she actually does decide to go to the mansion.
Yep.
But as this is happening...
we cut to a very, very cool police sting. We opened with a shot of some nasty-looking lizard birds.
What even are they?
Some kind of lizard pigeons or lizard bird thing. They're really gross.
They're just weird.
You see cop cars almost hitting them while they drive up to an abandoned Equalist hangar, which was very cool from those bastards at Cabbage Corp.
Oh, that Cabbage Corp, Mr. Gong Long, how dare he?
How dare he?
And, of course, as they're apprehending Mr. Gong Long...
I was going to say, we should have to say that it was a bandits. They see them opening Cabbage Corp crates, and they're full of Equalist...
Equalist flyers, Equalist, the gloves that they use, just everything. Every bit of evidence is pointing that they're the ones responsible.
Yep. And we cut to the outside of Cabbage Corp, where a very familiar looking...
very distraught...
I was going to say a very familiar looking statue of a man with a cart of a simple man with a cart full of cabbages and no love for avatars.
The Cabbage Man, which actually, surprisingly enough, as they're apprehending Mr. Gong Long of Cabbage Corps, there's a bit of an interview thing going on where it's like, is this actually who did it?
Yeah,
and of course, Lynn's like, it points to this, but we're still investigating.
In the meantime,
I swear Mr. Gong Long is related because...
he has to be.
No, not my Cabbage Corp!
Great joke. Assume some kind of descendant of that guy.
We cut to...
the police station.
Is that the police station?
I believe so.
Okay, because I thought it was like a hospital or something.
No, I believe it's a police station.
Yeah. Well, we go to Korra going to the police station where we see Tano.
A very depressed and sad.
A very depressed, sad, not a jerk this time. Obviously he's bummed out. Yeah, he's very bummed out because of his bending. And Korra and Tano kind of make up a little bit because, she's like, look, we're not friends, but it still kind of sucks what happened to you.
It's awful what happened to you. Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, and of course, Tano's like, dude, give him one for me.
Yeah, do it. And, Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar.
Thanks, Rami Malek. You're always great.
Thanks, M. Night.
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot.
Rami Malek, yeah.
And that's when we also
you called
see...
Avatar?
No, I said...
Why is it
Avatar? I said...
Avatar, yeah.
I said, thanks, M. Night. That's when we also see Lin talking to Mr. Sato. If you know anything, please let me know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, don't worry, I will.
And then, of course, they call Tano in, and Tano's just like, see you around.
Yeah, very, very sad
very
scene.
Depressed.
Very sad scene in general.
I gotta say, I was never a fan of Tano because
he was a jerk character, yeah, that was the whole point.
But this really kind of made me sad, just to see him go from, like, yes, to...
yeah, to like
a literal
visibly
zombie.
Horribly depressed person with a horrible thing that happened to him. Didn't look medically well either, but whatever the hell Amon did.
Yeah, Then we get to the mansion, where Korra finally goes into the Sato mansion, and,
see Asami has an indoor pool.
Yeah, an indoor pool, and a butler, of course, because every mansion's not complete without a butler, and... Bolin's just like, dude, this is amazing! Being Bolin, and a jerk, apparently, because he makes the butler pat him dry.
Yeah, very hilariously.
Make sure Pabu is dried, and then jumps right back in.
Yep, and also their outfits are very like
20s. Yeah, 20s.
The whole aesthetic of the show. Ooh, I really
oh my goodness, it's like the whole aesthetic of the show 20s.
Is very, very cool 20s.
And that's one of the main reasons why I like this show.
It's really cool looking.
And of course, Asami's like, hey, nice to see you and everything. And Korra's just like, okay, so are we going to do makeovers?
We also find out that Asami doesn't actually have permission as of yet for them to actually move in. So,
but she's like, better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I have heard that one thrown around a few times. Of course.
And Korra is very rude to Asami about like, oh god, girly stuff.
Oh, are we going to do girly stuff? Which, dude... Gotta give kudos to Bolin because he's just like, dude, let's do makeovers. Makeovers. But Asami's like, hey, how about we do something else? And then you go to a racing
a really
track.
Cool racetrack.
And where she explains, this is where we actually test the Sato mobiles. And then, to Korra's surprise and everyone else's, Asami's like, hey, want to go for a ride?
Let's go for a ride. And they take a really cool racing scene against the other driver with them just practicing.
That's when you learn Asami's actually a really good driver.
A professional level driver,
my goodness.
Which is going to be very helpful later, I guess.
I'm surprised she didn't make a cameo appearance in any of the Initial D games.
Really? That's your reference?
Yes, that's my reference.
The most...
I could have said that I could have said that this was all deja vu.
Oh God!
Yeah, that's right.
Took me a second. A little like 5-second pause and stuff.
And after the race and everything, even Korra's like, dude, I'm sorry. I always thought you were like a girly girl, and Sami's like, everyone thinks that. It's fine. Yeah. When I was really young, my dad made me go to self-defense classes and stuff like that. That's AKA, she's actually really kick butt.
Yeah, and while they're after the race and everything. Did they go back to the pool before the powder room?
No, they went straight to Bolin had to use the restroom, and then she went to the powder room.
Yep, and while she's just playing around with weird like makeup stuff,
the actual face powdery thing,
we see Korra overhearing Sato making some vague, schemy plans, and she immediately runs out of the building and ditches everyone at the house.
Yeah, and then of course she goes to reveal to Lin and Tenzin that, something's going on. And, do you have any proof? No, but I know what I heard.
And they know that Cabbage Corp, did they point out the Cabbage Corp were a rival of his? Or that his wife was killed by a firebender?
We were just getting there, actually.
Yeah, I'm saying,
this is when you also find out that, it was possible because... Mr. Sato has the means and a reason. Yeah, and a motive. Yep. And that's when you find out that the Agni Kai Triad went and robbed Mr. Sato's mansion, and a firebender killed his wife.
Yes.
Wow. Like father, I can't say that because they're not father and son, but like Mako, his parents were killed by firebenders.
It's always firebenders. So,
it's always this. You know what? Some people just can't get over the fact that the Fire Nation is not doing that anymore.
They're all bad. Firebenders.
True.
Well, no, this was great.
You're not wrong though. Every firebender has been a jerk.
Yeah, look at Mako.
Right? But anyway, so. So, Lin and Tenzin are just like, hey, they go to Mr. Sato about this. And Mr. Sato's like, oh, she's being silly.
Also, foolishly, before that, Korra tells Asami outright,
oh, Asami and
we're doing this thing on your dad.
Yeah, and Mako.
Yeah, Mako's like, what the heck? And then, like, yeah, we're doing this thing, shut up. And it just makes Korra look very dumb and very jealous. And
right.
It's very not good look for her.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, Mr. Sato's like, I was talking about the competitor, it's just good business. It's all right.
I'm a really nice guy. And Asami's just like looking sinister, just like protecting her dad, like, being like, how dare you, this is awful.
Yeah, how could you do this? And of course, Tenzin, being the rational person here, is like, let's quell these suspicions. Can we look at your warehouses? And, he's like, fine. And they found nothing.
The police all show up, they investigate, they rip open boxes, and they do not find any bad stuff. Except...
And then Mako.
Oh yeah, Mako's like, you're so jealous,
like, dude, look, if you're gonna keep doing this, we're not friends. Oh, yeah. And Korra stands up for herself.
Like, yeah, I'm suspicious and I know what I heard, yeah.
She also gets a high five with 2 fingers. And she gets a message from Rando.
Yeah, I'm about to say some weird dock worker man just like hey, you want the information, gives her a weird pass.
Hey, you, I got some info for you. And and of course, like typical noir fashion, it's secretive underneath a bridge at night.
Oh yeah, very very cool.
Lightly foggy area, And this guy's like, hey, so Mr. Sato is evil. Wait, he's evil? How do you know? Because I got some information, because I wanted to join these equalists, but I didn't sign up for any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so how do you know that, like, where's he hiding all this stuff? He's got a secret facility underneath his mansion.
Yeah, we found out about the underground lab. That's bizarre.
And of course... Another raiding of the mansion.
Yep, I love
Asami and
raids.
Mako are just like, why are you doing this? He's like, okay, where's your dad? He's in his workhouse. They go to the workhouse, and there's nobody there.
Nope, it's completely empty, and they're like, see, nothing. They look around, they don't see anything, and then we got a moment that thoroughly, like, when I first saw it, I just exploded.
Yes.
I almost died.
It's just like, yeah, there's nothing here. Are you happy? Lynn just walks over, barefoot, slams her foot down, and we get the kind of sonar
we got Toph's
thing
blind pose. Like, she does the pose and everything with the sonar vision that Toph does, and just detects the base, and that was just like, whoa!
Yeah, it was a beautiful callback. I'm like, dude, like mother, like daughter.
Yeah, it was so cool.
And then all of a sudden, it's just like, she says, hey, right there, metal bends, picks it up, elevator going down.
A very giant evil lab.
Even Bulin's just like, does your dad know?
A very funny gag from Bulin as usual.
Asami is just like, what the heck?
Yeah,
what's going on?
Mako, Bulin, and Asami are told to stay up with a guard while Tenzin, Lin, and Korra go down and investigate the lab.
And when they go down, they see equalists everything.
Yeah, and they also, while going further in, they discover they find out that the walls are made of platinum.
And they also find out that Mr. Sato is working on a new invention, which when Mr. Sato, traps them behind a platinum wall with these giant mech tanks.
Yep. Also, I was going to say a little dumb, not cameo, what is it called? It's a weird dumb reference. Anyway, Platinum Games, they made the Korra game.
Nice.
Very
See,
stupid.
my reference was totally going to be more obscure to a really old video game, but... I was going to say when Mr. Sato sprung a trap, I was going to be like, the Fiend has sprung a trap. Fight, Benders, fight! Because nobody knows what Magic Carpet 2 is.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't even know what the heck you're referencing.
It's a really old DOS computer game.
Oh,
it was fun.
Yeah, my reference actually makes sense to Korra.
Shut up. But anyway, as they're trapped, we see Bulin, Mako, and everyone just like, yeah, we need to get down there right now. And of course, Enforcer guy's like, no, you can't go down there.
Yeah, I was ordered from the chief. You can't go down there.
Bulin and Mako, being the street cred that they have, it's just like, they just look at each other. They know what's going down.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna Mako sneezes some fire, and as the guy's backing up, Bolin just like, oops, I tripped you.
Yeah, trips him up, and then they just grab him, tie him up, get rid of his armor, and just like, you stay down here.
Yeah, you just stay here until everyone gets back.
Yeah, that nice little pun from Bolin and Adam was really good.
Dude, Bolin
really
is
funny
best.
gag.
And as they're going to go down, Mako's just like, Asami, look, I'm going to find out for both of us what's going on. Just stay up here, please. And she does.
Yeah.
And as they go down, you find out that not only are the walls made of platinum, but the tanks are made of platinum too.
The tanks being gigantic bipedal,
like giant
Big
tanks
Daddy
with
looking,
mecha.
Yeah, they're like Big Daddies from what's it called? From
only
Bioshock.
instead of feet they have treads.
Yeah, they have treads. It's great.
Which you actually learn something interesting about platinum and why that's important. Because it is so pure a metal that nobody, not even Toph, was able to bend it.
Yeah, platinum.
So that's why,
bizarre.
platinum's, holy crap, it's really, good against benders. And then you get this epic fight, showdown thing.
Yeah,
and
Lynn gets some cool sword hands with her police armor, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And Tenzin does a cool air wheel, like his dad's air ball.
Oh, yeah.
And just, zooms through people, knocking out people. It's a really cool fight.
It's amazing. But they do get overpowered. And, of course, as this is happening, as they're going to get thrown into some trucks and stuff, Bolin and Mako appear, and they're like, "Oh my goodness!
Yeah, take him out of here!
Yeah, we gotta get him out of here!" And then,
what was that?
Hush you! It's my thing. Gotta get out of here! And then Mr. Sato's like, "Yo, no, you're not doing this." And we get our first Disney cameo from Mr. Sato. Because he doesn't want his daughter hitching up with a street rat.
You street rat. Take that, yeah.
And then, as this is happening, Asami appears. And she's like, Dad, what's going on? In which case, we get our final Disney cameo. We get Darth Sato. He's like, these benders are evil. And since these benders are evil, we can go to Amon. And Amon is going to save us all. And as in typical Darth Sato manner, he's like, join me, Asami, and we can save the city like daughter and father.
Yep, and she takes the glove in a very crazy, dramatic... I'll talk about it after the episode, but yeah, she takes the glove and she tases her dad and takes out Lance Henriksen sidekick dude.
Lance Henriksen.
Whoa!
Stunning twist. And after that happens, they all get out of there and they start flying towards... I'm gonna guess Airbender Island. It doesn't say where they're going. They're just in the blimp. They're just in the blimp.
Did they manage to arrest everybody or no?
They don't show it at least, but we're gonna assume that they did.
I believe they did. Didn't they cut to them showing them being arrested?
Probably. I don't actually remember that part. I just know that they escape and then they're on the blimp.
Oh yeah.
And that's when Lynn decides to resign because she wants to be a vigilante.
I love that line. Yeah,
Dude.
she goes full movie character. She's like, I'm gonna do this my way. Outside the law.
Outside the law.
No badges, no rules.
Exactly.
Like, oh, snap.
And of course, everyone's in shock, and Mako's like, dude, I'm sorry, Korra. Just understand. I'm too surprised about this. And Korra's like, dude, I understand. Even I'm surprised. Now go be with your girlfriend.
Exactly.
And then, of course, Mako's like, oh, huggies and stuff. Yeah. And then the episode ends.
Yeah, just bam, cut to end. Now, I wanted to ask you,
what
did you think was going to happen at the end when what did you think watching the episode? Like, what did you think about Sato and what did you think about Asami?
So honestly, I was slightly surprised of Mr. Sato being evil. I was slightly surprised.
Nice.
There were some hints, but in my mind, that was a bit too cliche, so give him the benefit of the doubt. He did, give money so that they can do bending. He did everything right. Mm-hmm. But when you have a guy who's the first line you say to someone's boyfriend is, so, I hear you dirt poor.
Yeah.
There's something missing there. Asami being an actual badass. Apologies for the swearing, but that kind of blew my mind a little bit because she did every single time. She seemed like she was very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very... not necessarily prim and proper, but proper enough where you knew she came from a higher society.
Oh yeah, she was much more higher status than Korra, who's a bumpkin, or
so
street kids Mako and Bolin. So yeah.
Oh yeah. But especially goes to a fancy dinner with Mako, and I'm just like, okay, so she's gonna be the typical. but then she actually turned out to be amazing and like actually can take care of herself. Mm-hmm. Boom. I totally saw it coming when Mr. Sato was like, join me. I'm like, dude, she's gonna take the glove. She's gonna say some lines. She's gonna zap him.
Of course.
Well, and what happens? Takes the glove. I love you, Dad. Zap. I'm like, oh man. But all in all, it was a very interesting episode. I love the 1920s steampunk, and I love the noir kind of feel of this.
It's always fun.
And I like learning new things about bending that you never learned in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like the whole platinum thing. Oh yeah. I'm like, wait, platinum's a metal. How come they can't? Mr. Sato says it's pure.
It's so
like
pure.
too pure of a metal for them to bend. I'm just like,
I was gonna say, like, just like those Avatar comics I have that do take place after the original series. One of them is about Toph starting her first metal bending school and teaching earthbenders how to metal bend, like a bunch of kids, child earthbenders. And, like, I was thinking, like, I don't know if it ever touched on Platinum in that series.
Yeah, I've never read them yet, which I probably will borrow those from you, just so I can have some more reference and stuff. But just the fact that it's, like, you can actually not be able to bend an element just because it's so pure.
It's, so removed from being Earth, I guess.
Astonishing. Yeah. And, of course, you know...
Yeah, and Toph managed to bend, like, meteorite, so that's all really impressive.
But, yeah, dude, that's Toph. Toph's just amazing altogether.
Yeah.
is amazing altogether. But, yeah, just all in all, this episode blew my mind in certain ways. And
will it blow your mind as much as the next two?
Yes, we're getting there. Wow, so impatient. So
I was getting impatient. I was just asking about a question. But yeah, what were you about to say?
Oh, no, that was actually what I was ending with. They just like, wow. And we haven't even touched the next two episodes, which, speaking of all of my passion and my extreme things, episode 8. Yep. When extremes
meet. Finally, the 1920s guy is finally back.
Yes, he makes his appearance.
The last time is all about how Amon just keeps winning and winning.
every single time he just decides to make everything happen.
Yep, opens up with them sailing to Airtable Island in a really, really beautiful shot.
Oh yes, a very beautiful. I see. That's the other thing. I like the backgrounds
because really pretty.
It's very Last Airbender-y.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just and of course everyone, Bolin and all of them are moving to Airbender Island, and they get to meet the kids.
Yep, Iki,
Milo, and who's the Jinora. I always forget her.
We find out that Pabu is from Central Earth Kingdom because there's Iki knows, or it's Jinora. Jinora knows. Yeah, Jinora's like, it's a Central Earth Kingdom. And, like, Milo tries to get it to fly by doing yip yip to
Naga. Yip. But Naga's used to it because Naga's lived there before.
Living on those crazy ass
And
kids.
as they're all walking, we get the first creeper moment with Milo
being a weird creep.
like, staring at Asami in, like, creepy 5-year-old fashion. And, you're pretty. Let me have your hair. But, of course, Mako takes it very well because he's just like, ooh, I got competition.
That's so good.
Next scene blew my mind. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, by the way, viewers. Blew my mind because Iki's like, hey, this is where this goes. This is where this is this. Giving the tour.
Oh yeah.
And Bolin's like, okay, so a few questions about the island. Is it all vegetarian? Is that where you train airbending? Do we have to wear air acolyte clothes? Do we get our own sky bison? And how many trees are on this island? Iki takes like 2 seconds. 2 seconds to think. Yes, no, 10,552. Everyone's expression is exactly what I did because they're all just staring like, what? I'm just like, which makes me realize that Iki, even though she's like airheaded and like, yay!
Yeah, she's very, very smart.
She is intelligent.
They are great. Those kids are hilarious.
So the boys get separated to the boy side by Milo and Jinora. And Korra and Iki take...
Asami?
Sorry, it's Iki, not Iki.
Yeah,
not Iki. Yeah. They take Asami to her room, where Iki just decides, hey, so did you know Korra likes Mako? Just instantly.
Yeah, huge.
No break. Just like...
a big giant anime
oh, hey, by the way, she likes
Korra.
Your boyfriend. It's like...
It's amazing. A big funny anime shock face from Korra, like, oh, Iki, get the hell out of here, and then just, like, shoves her out, and then, like...
Shoves her out, and Iki's just, like, cats.
Yeah, just crazy angry at her.
Howdy. And so, after that awkward moment, Tenzin decides to show up, and is like, hey, first off, Asami, welcome. Korra, Lynn's replacement, Saikon, is going to be what is it called? Indicted?
Inducted? I got it.
Inducted.
Promoted? I don't know. Just
it's going to be the new chief of police.
He looks like a very, very classic movie cop. Yeah,
he really does. He just looks like
classic,
like we're talking the typical chief who's like, bruh, you need to
gruff
do this.
and balding and saying, dang it, Mahoney, you're out of control. You don't play by the rules.
Exactly.
A very
very tough guy, exactly like that. And
cool.
He's like doing his usual like, it's a pity that we see what Lynn did and blah 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 and all that stuff. And generic talk. I'm giving all my power and I'm going to do all these things and report to Tarlok.
Yep, Tarlok is put in charge.
And of course, Tenzin and Korra are just like, yeah, we know your scheme. And Tarlok's like, oh yeah? You do, huh? Yeah, I'm the big, bad, scary man that everyone, answers to because I've got power. And Korra's like, well, I'm the Avatar. And Tarlok's like, no, you're not. You're half-baked. Oh, by the way, how's that airbending going?
To say, just dogs are about her airbending.
So. Oh, dude, no, like, of all the jerk moments of Tarlok, this one is like, we're talking like spreading too much peanut butter on a knife. Like, it is thick.
He is really giving it to Korra about how she's not good. It's really just because she won't join the investigation. Which, it's just
yeah. I did forget to mention that. It's like, oh, Korra, come to join me again. And she's just like, no. Mm-hmm. Oh, don't worry. You'll come around to, I said no.
Yeah, Korra's like, puts her foot down.
Oh, and of course Korra puts her foot down and all that. And in typical 20s cop movie fashion, well, if you're not going to join me, stay out of my way.
Yeah, I won't come back, I'm sure.
All of this talk about not being a good Avatar stuff really bums Korra out.
Yeah, we also learned that she's also, as well as not being good at airbending, she's also not good at spiritual part of.
Oh yeah, that was in the first episode they mentioned that.
Yeah, they mentioned
but it gets brought back. Yeah, it finally gets brought up that because Tenzin's like, yeah, you need to meditate on all this stuff and all, and she's just like, yeah, but I suck at spiritualism. He's like, well, maybe if you can talk. Oh, that's what it was. He was talking about talking to the past lives, and she's like, I can't do that because I'm not spiritual. He's like, maybe something happened where you had like a vision or maybe a dream or something.
Yeah, we find out. Yes, and that's when it has. It's been happening throughout the whole series so far. We've been noticing her seeing that.
She's like, yeah, I did see some things. Mm-hmm. And he's like, wait, did you see any of the avatars? Yeah, I saw Aang. And he's just like, I have no idea what this might mean, but you should probably meditate on these. Yep. Maybe you'll learn some stuff. So it goes to Airbender Island. She's on a cliffside, lamenting about, actually being depressed because, Tarlok is a jerk.
Yeah, of course.
And Pabu and everyone finds her, and they all decide to cheer her up and everyone.
And we finally get the new Team Avatar.
Hey, don't forget about Milo using his fart bending. I was going to say his light farted concept.
Fart bending.
So we have new Team Avatar, or as I affectionately like to call it, Team Avatar MK2.
MK2?
Mark II, Make 2.
Oh, weird.
What do you want me to do? V2? Version 2? That's lame.
Yeah, 2.0 would have been fine, I guess.
And it's name in progress. But anyway, so they're like, yeah, let's go. And with a bit of a nope moment from Naga.
Not carrying all these people.
Asami's like, I got a better idea.
Yeah, they gotta hit the town.
Remember Tarlok's gift?
Yeah, that fancy
car. Yeah. It finally gets put to use.
Exactly.
Because Asami can drive.
Yeah, and they become cool vigilantes.
I'm literally convinced that Asami's the only one who has her driver's license. I don't think the other three.
I don't think anyone could even drive a car.
I mean, Korra's understandable,
but
the other two, it's just like, come on, guys.
those two are bums. I'm not surprised.
But anyway,
yeah, they hit the streets like a couple of vigilantes. Just like, we're gonna look for trouble. And we're gonna drive around listening to the police scanners.
Yeah, because actually, it's also mentioned by Asami that every single Sato mobile has a police scanner,
which is an insane idea, and it's hilarious that they didn't think that was sinister.
Well, now she understands why, because, we didn't think that Mr. Sato was evil, because corporate people are never evil.
Yeah, you got a big old... That was hilarious. Like, that's a very cool car chase between them and the Equalists happens.
Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, they find out Equalists have done some jailbreaking.
Yep, they get an alert on the police radio about a jailbreak from some Equalists, and it's a very cool car chase using amazing bending.
Beautiful. Bending.
Motorcycles.
Even, motorcycles, really cool. Like smoke and everything. Even Asami gets some moments where she gets to zap people. It's awesome.
And she puts her driving glasses on when the smoke thing so she can see. It's really cool.
Dude, it is spectacular. They new team Avatar apprehends them, and Tarlok is upset.
Yeah, how dare you get in my way?
You got in my way. How dare you destroy the town and stuff?
And
really?
Korra gloats hilariously.
Yeah. Pointing out like, you guys weren't even here, blah blah blah. Yep. And of course Tarlok's like, grr. Last warning, stay out of my way. Rum, 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 rum.
Yep, and he walks off to make some terrible policies
regarding non-benders. Speaking of that.
Yep, the cowardly council agrees once again to Tarlok's horrible, dumb plan.
Horrible, dumb plan, which this time, because I know you kids are saying to yourself, what is Tarlok doing this time? Well, I'll tell you. He wants to make a rule that not only does it make it easier for non-benders to be caught as equalists, but they also have a curfew, because that's not going to bite anyone in the butt.
Yeah, it's ridiculously crazy.
Of course, Tenzin, Rational One, is like, this is exactly what Amon wants.
Yeah, this is a terrible plan. He's just like, shut up. And the council, the idiot council.
The idiot cowards are just like, we agree. And of course, Tenzin just angrily fluffs his cape, just like, how dare you not listen to reason.
Mm-hmm. We also, after that, we see Mako comforting Korra, and the first little bit of Asami possibly being a little weird, like weirded out about the relationship. A little jealous kind of thing. They have a weird relationship that she's not too crazy about. Let's see, and then we have we have another police radio thing with they get a scan saying some equalists around. They're like, oh, more equalists.
I think the words were equalist rally.
Yep.
Which that's important because when they drive there, this part of town has no power whatsoever.
Yeah, the power's been cut.
It's it was iced over, maybe.
No, I think it was just like there was just completely like innocent civilians outside of the houses just wanting the power back on.
Yeah, the innocent people are just like behind like these metal bars or whatever. They're like, we just want our power back. We want our rights back. And the police are just like, it's past curfew. You need to go back to your houses.
And then they begin to illegally detain the people. Very topical of the.
And Tarlok, being Tarlok, is like, they're equalist and blah, 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 blah.
And also, I was going to say, I haven't mentioned him in a while, yellow shirt guy in the crowd. He's been in a couple episodes in the past. But
dude.
He's in a couple of shots in this one. That's been really obvious.
In our last episode of the podcast, you did a sportsmaster, like sportscast kind of thing. In this one, we need to have a segment called Spot the Yellow Guy.
Yeah, I will actually have to look for him then. I'm just like noticing him when he's very, very prominent in the shot.
But anyway, and of course,
the innocent civilians are begging Korra to let them go, and she's like, "I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. This is insane."
Korra does attempt to free them, and it works for
she confronts Tarlok about it, and he says no, and then she goes and begins to start freeing them as the police start moving the barricades in.
Wrapping them up in like the literal barricades. Yeah. And Korra doesn't know how to metal bend, but she does like lift them up a little bit so they can slide under and be exactly. And Tarlok, being the rational individual that he is,
of course,
arrests Asami for being a non-bender past curfew with a father who was a conspirator with the Equalists. And all of her friends.
Yep. Bolin and Mako also get arrested by Tarlok.
Because they were helping Asami or something. I don't know.
And of course, Korra's ready to just kill Tarlok over this.
Korra just like rocks up at the ready. Thanks to Mako. Yeah, it had to be Mako, obviously. She's like, yo, not worth it. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just don't kill him.
Yeah, and then they say arrested Avatar's friend. So they go into police custody as Korra just like angrily drops her things and is stuck there.
And she does go through the system. She goes to Tenzin, who Tenzin goes with Korra is like, hey, what did I say his name was? Saikon or something?
Saikon,
yeah. Saikon. Can I talk to you for a moment? Saikon at first was going to be like, nope. But all he had to hear was, Saikon, and they talk, and Saikon's like, dude, they're bad guys, and blah, 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 they're under arrest. And little note here, this is where you really get to see the heritage of Tenzin come out, because Korra's like, you're the worst ever, blah, 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 and Tenzin is all like Katara. Because he's like, now, we'll handle this. Starts to walk away, but you are the worst. I'm like, dude, it's so Katara.
It's so great. Tenzin's great. It's amazing.
Dude, Tenzin's amazing.
He backs her up, and it's great. We cut to the next day, possibly, or just later that day?
same night.
Same night? Okay.
Yep, later that night when Korra's like, she thinks to herself, like, I'm not going to wait.
Yeah.
So then she goes to Tarlock.
Yep, we see her burst into his office as some weird little squeaky voice attendant.
Yeah, it's the
attendant or whatever he is.
Oh, secretary. It's the secretary that gave her all the gifts.
Yeah.
Same lady.
Yes, it's a guy.
That's a guy?
Yeah.
I thought it was a girl.
That's why we get that name later in the next episode. It's just a squeaky voice.
Wow, it's just like Final Fantasy characters. I can't tell. Is that a guy or is that a girl?
I believe it's a guy. I'm not sure.
Anyway,
the voice actor is D. Bradley Baker, I believe, but just like Tarlock. But
yeah, and of course Tarlock's like, nobody's here, are they? And the secretary's like, yes. Then you should leave. Because he's totally not.
Yep.
Anyway.
Very cool. She's doing her class. This is not the first or last time that Korra will burst into an authority figure's office and threaten them. It's going to happen a lot more. But she tells him to let him go, and then he gives her the classic villain speech of, we're not so different, you and I. We both want the same thing. Totally. And he's like, oh, come on. Let's see. And then... Korra's like, oh, you're no better than Amon, and that just like pisses Tarlock off, and he just goes to town. Does he first waterbend at her? Or
yes. He goes to waterbend at her, and she like starts defending herself. She earthbends the weird. Yeah, the waterfall thing
and almost hits him. Or no, before he like starts.
There's
a ball that starts shooting all kinds of weird, cool blades in a really cool way. She's trying to box them away, but she keeps getting cut.
And she completely wrecks this
Yeah, she starts earthbending and just knocks him out the freaking thing, the second floor of the building, kicks his butt, is ready to just crush him second. That's such a half-baked avatar
He's like,
now.
oh yeah, what are you gonna do? There's no water or anything.
Yeah.
And she gets ready to firebend, and she stops.
Yeah, she suddenly is unable to move. Now.
I mentioned something
did you?
In the past.
Yeah, you did.
Just... Before we get to that, we find out that Tarlock is more waterbending than you think because he can bloodbend.
Yes.
That is the big reveal. Oh,
that's
reveal number one. Reveal number one.
Absolutely.
The bigger reveal is Korra realizing it's not a full moon, and yet he can bloodbend.
Yes.
Tarlock's like, there's a lot you don't know.
Yep.
And
marionettes her over to
a car, ties her up and locks her up and says, you're not going to see this city anymore, and then drives off.
Oh, she fire breathes at him and he just locks her and slams the door before he gets burnt, so hits the thing, gets in, and drives off to a mysterious destination.
Where this episode ends.
That was crazy.
Now,
yeah.
Now to elaborate on me saying, I mentioned something in a previous episode of this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey, I've never seen bloodbending yet. That's going to be scary. I was freaking kidding. I was not serious.
You really didn't think that was...
I really did not know.
That's why you realize how purposefully dismissive I was of the idea, too.
I should have known.
Oh, my God.
But, oh, my goodness. Seeing Tarlock do that, not on a full moon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we already had Dot from Animaniacs being able to teach Katara how to do this.
Yeah.
But, oh my goodness. Alright, just for all of you at home, and for you, because I don't know if you know this about me, every single time bloodbending happened in Avatar, like the whole 2 or 3 times, it makes me cringe.
Yeah,
because
it's crazy.
They do everything right. The arm movements, or the body distortion, the sound that it does.
It's a very disturbing sound. No, like how I was with not leading you on bloodbending, you will see a lot more crazy bending to come in the future in this show.
Oh, I bet I will.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's amazing. That when that happened, like everyone was like aghast at like, whoa, he's that powerful of bloodbender, not on the full moon. What is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. And it's like, what's the deal? Why? How and why and what's happening? It was crazy. That was an insane thing.
Oh man. I legitimately, like, after I watched that episode, before I even went to the next episode, I literally just like, I was kidding. I didn't seriously want to.
That's what you get. You got what you wish for.
Yeah, careful what you wish for,
kiddies. It was crazy. That was an insane reveal that he's a bloodbender.
Oh my goodness, dude! They did that perfectly too.
Yeah,
like
really cool.
you could even see like the cornered animal like look in his eyes.
His
and
hair's
like
all
that.
out of the braids. It's all crazy
out of the braids and
long
stuff. And then he just boom, and I'm just like,
Oof, it was crazy. That was really, really cool.
Speaking of Tarlok taking Korra away, that's when we lead up to the last episode on this list, episode 9.
Talking over each other is going to be a classic on podcasts.
Way to go.
Yeah, you drew it.
But yeah, anyway,
episode
yes, out
9,
of the past.
Out of the past. We're going to say it 3 more times. No. The last time is all about that fight at the end exclusively.
Very exclusively.
Because if you're watching this back in the day and like you had a week to just sit on that ending, it was just crafting central.
And then as you're sitting on that for the entire week, what does the announcer do? Hey, remember that thing you've been sitting on for the entire week? I'm going to say it one more time.
That was crazy. What's going on? And we see it opens to him continuing to bloodbend Korra, just floating her in midair with it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It through a weird building, a weird shack in the middle of nowhere.
Some weird abandoned place.
Yeah.
And puts her in a metal cage.
A platinum cage, to be specific.
Very good, very good.
Yep. And it is a weird shack in the center of some giant mountains. We don't know where the heck it is. It's crazy.
And after that happens, as Korra's like, no, you can't get away with this, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
We go to the next morning where Tenzin gets a phone call. A shocking phone call. He goes over to the office to the town hall, was it?
Yeah, pretty much council hall.
Yeah, the council hall. And he's like, Tarlok, what's going on? And you see like an Equalist glove on the floor. And you see like
mask.
Equalist mask. What is it called? The
Bolos?
Bola, thank you.
Bolo. I think, yeah.
Some bolos like wrapped around,
yeah.
and Tarlok is getting healed, and he's just like, Korra was here trying to talk about getting her friend free, and then the Equalist attack.
Yeah.
And as he's talking,
really cool.
It actually, like to Tenzin, he only knows what Tarlok is saying, but we the viewers, we actually see what he did. He actually like plants all the evidence.
We see him planting the evidence all
He takes one of the Equalist gloves and shocks himself.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It's crazy
it was just a really, really cool scene. Like it was,
it was beautifully done.
It was so great, and we see.
Oh, and most important thing is the Equalist took Korra.
Yep, they took her and they spared him for some reason, and we're like, that's weird.
Well, he probably got knocked out from the shock.
And then we cut to Lynn waking up in the morning in her house, and we see she's still recovering, but she gears up and is ready to go full vigilante mode.
Oh, yep.
We even see her.
Yep, she puts on her uniform and everything, and then
she takes the badge off and crumbles it outside the fucking law.
and then of course, first thing she does as a vigilante outside the law girl. Goes over to the prison, frees Asami and Bolin and Mako.
Well, you gotta mention the Bolin scene is hilarious because
I'm getting there. Like, goes over to the Asami, she's like busting you out because I'm a badass.
Yeah,
and then Bolin's like
in the middle of peeing.
in the middle of peeing, like
when Asami runs in and hugs Mako.
Dude, don't do it. I mean, sorry. Cover your ears. I can't pee when you're listening. Dude, he would suck at public restrooms. And then all of a sudden. Like, Liz breaks in immediately as he's starting to pee.
Yeah, you're like, hey, funny penis.
we gotta get out of here. And Bolin starts running out, and all Lynn does is, like flip her wrist, and you hear, zip!
He's like, whoop!
And she's just like, your fly was down.
He's like, thank you for
just like, wow, chicken metal bend zippers.
That was hilarious.
It was, like, perfect. It was just like... I pictured Toph doing that at one point. Yeah, because that's exactly what she would do. Just, zip, your fly was down.
That was hilarious. That was so good.
Well, as all that's happening...
We cut back to Korra in her captivity, trying to
escape. Well, first she's trying to escape because, Korra, first thing she does is she actions.
Crazy action.
And then she remembers, maybe she should meditate on things.
Think on stuff.
And she does. And what she sees is, Aang and Toph getting ready to capture some criminal.
Yeah.
We find out during that little scene, as they're going to some restaurant or something, that the villain in question is a man by the name of Yakon. Yakon, yeah.
Yakon?
Yeah, it is Yakon.
And
you're right.
some kind of weird mafia man inside of a fancy restaurant, very classic.
Very classic, like,
mafia movie style.
Even like,
Goodfellas or Godfather.
You used to be able to eat here, and so, and Toph, badass.
And the voice actor for him, Clancy Brown.
Really?
Yeah, it's Clancy Brown.
That's why it sounded so familiar.
He is insanely cool. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Amazing voice actor, Clancy Brown. Just like you could used to be able to get a meal in here. He's just like this awesome voice, awesome character, just being a really cool mobster.
Yeah, he's amazing actually. And that's all she sees for this moment. And of course, she's just excited that she actually got to connect with Aang.
Yeah.
And then we see Lin and all the others walking into Tenzin's office, and Tenzin, in usual Tenzin manners, like on the phone.
About the flashback, we find out that at this point Aang was 40 years old, and we find out that Toph still calls him Twinkle Toes.
Yep, that's actually important because it's like, all right, fine, do whatever you want, Twinkle Toads. I'm 40 years old. Can you stop with the nicknames? Nope.
Yeah,
I was like,
amazing.
yes.
Oh, Toph's the best.
Dude, she is.
We see Team Avatar now believing that the Equalists must have took Korra to some kind of underground base. And we, once again, get some sweet, old school Toph like Lin sound bending. Or
like sound bending and all that stuff. And, just finding out, like, even Bolin has some great moments. Like, hey, I remember hearing things that were, like, in a tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the way they're tracking it down is because they're following to where Bolin was taken when him and the other mobsters were kidnapped by Equalists.
Before he almost got his bending taken.
Yeah.
And he even has a Gandalf the Grey moment where he, like, sniffs the air and he's like, this smells familiar. And of course, sound bend. We're just gonna call it sound bend.
That's what I was calling it. Yeah.
So, Lin sound bends and she's like, yeah, there's a tunnel over here.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Like, they're actually every single one of them.
Top did that all the time, and it was great.
Right, but I'm just everyone, not just Lin, not just Tenzin. Everyone is like actually having a moment where they're let's do this.
Investigating vigilante style, amazing team Avatar. That's what the old gang did. And it's amazing. It's so fun.
And then they go through, they actually, as they're going through more tunnels, because they actually find a tunnel system and everything, Asami goes over to Bolin and she's like...
Oh, yeah, because Mako's being extra aggro.
About saving Korra.
Yeah,
like, we're talking, like, on the line between best friend, like, super worried, and, oh my god, I'm in love with this girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to save
She's
her,
a little like,
thing.
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and so she talks to Bolin. She's like, is he and Korra having a thing? And of course Bolin's like, no,
being a good brother covering for his brother's infidelity.
Unfortunately, he's not good at
classic Bolin, big mouth Bolin, once again just blurts out, oh yeah, they totally kissed during the tournament when you guys were dating, but
they're over it, he's over it, I'm over it, because I was broken about it too.
Yeah.
And Asami's like, not everyone's over it.
Yeah, I don't think he's over it.
Yeah, kind of thing.
And we finally go further into this very large-scale underground facility of the Equalists. It's huge.
Oh, it is like, we're talking like metal trains and all that, which we actually find out is also the place where Lin's old crew was.
Yeah, are being taken from the last run-in with them.
Which, unfortunately, when Lin actually finds her old
very, very sad
they're
scene.
already their bending has already been taken. So.
Yeah, it's a really sad scene, but it's just a really cool police scene of a vigilante ex-cop just saving her old cop friends, and it was just everything about it is such a great story. It's an amazing story.
But of course,
of
course, they don't find Korra, and that's when Tenzin makes the connection. Oh crap! Tarlok's lying.
Yeah, the Equalists are like, we didn't take her, and they're like, what? Why, if we took the Avatar, we'd have like made it known we didn't take her, and then they just
exactly. I mean, because that's exactly what Amon would have done. He would have been like, people.
Yeah,
I'm
Stephen Blooming.
I'm Stephen Blooming. And then as that revelation is made, we go back to Korra meditating, where we see Yakun on trial. And, of course, was it Toph that was talking the first time? Does it start with Toph talking?
I believe Toph. Yeah,
because Toph's like talking about, we have all of these witnesses saying that you can bloodbend.
Yeah, outside of this full moon.
And then of course we get another court. The defendant. The defending
lawyer.
The defending lawyer is just like,
that's impossible.
Yeah, that's impossible. It's not a full moon. And then there's a moment where Korra like breaks out of it, but then goes right back in, and you get. Best cameo ever.
Sokka being awesome. Voiced by Chris Hardwick, of course. And we get a really cool scene of him saying, like, man, I saw all kinds of crazy stuff when I was with the Avatar, including a guy who could firebend with just his mind.
And of course, metal bending wasn't a thing
until our lovely chief of police did her thing. And they say, like, we'll go back and delegate. And then he says we find him guilty. And
they brand him as one of these special cases where he can blood bend without the full moon.
And
they sentence him to life in prison.
Yep. Just then, the entire courtroom stops as we get that familiar old gross squelching noise of bloodbending being performed as everyone is being controlled by Yokon simultaneously.
Yeah,
is his lawyer not being, I don't think...
Everyone.
Every lawyer too? His lawyer?
When he gets up to... like, bloodbend Toph into giving the keys, you actually notice the defense lawyer just falls over. Oh. Which makes me believe that he was controlling that person.
He just knocked him out as well.
Yeah. I was just like, ooh, that was a little... information I didn't need to know.
It was crazy. But it's crazy. He bloodbends everyone, including Aang and Sokka and Toph at the same time.
Everyone in the courtroom except for himself, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's just like, ha 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 ha, I am the big bad guy. Unlock me, woman.
Yeah, he gets out. He just like shakes his hands really fucking mobster style. It's really crazy.
Right.
Walks out of there. Aang breaks out of it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because this is when we go back to Tarlok.
Okay.
And of course, they all walk. Tenzin's like, thank you for coming here on such short notice. And Tarlok's like, what's going on? Did you find her? No, but we know you have her. Yep. And Tarlok's like, what? That's preposterous. How could you? Yes, I get it. Sorry. He's like, yeah, that's crazy. Then you see Mr. Miss Secretary?
Yes, that squeaky voiced liar.
The secretary's just like, wait, yeah, I saw everything. I saw him fighting with the Avatar. I saw him put her in a thing. And of course, as my friend here has been clearly stating,
everyone knows you're a squeaky voiced liar.
Direct quote from
That line
Tarlok.
was amazing.
But Lin being Lin is like, why did you wait until now? And then the big revelation that everyone already knows, except for this group. Because he's a bloodbender. Everyone just goes from 0 to 100, just like, you're not doing anything. And what happens? Tarlok bloodbends them all. Of course, once again, knocks them out, runs out.
Yep. Then we cut back to the Yokon flashback, where Aang follows him out of the courthouse. He's the only one to wake up, right?
He's the only one to wake up because he uses the Avatar
state to wake up, and then he goes back to normal, gets on his giant classical air ball, and then runs out of the courtroom after him, and after he's in a car.
Oh, and... in a cart, because this was back before the cars were actually.
Was it a cart still?
Yeah, it was a cart, because they had the bird and everything.
Had the bird, ostrich bird, or whatever, ostrich, the
weird chocobo-looking thing.
Yeah, it was nasty.
And, of course, Aang stops the cart and everything and all that, but Yakon's like, I am 110% done. I'm gonna literally bend your body in a way where you can't live.
Yeah, literally gonna kill you.
And of course, it's just gross, and at the same time, it's like, it looks like it's done. Like he's gonna be done, but Aang just Avatar states, and he's just
completely breaks out of it.
Earth bends everything around Yokon.
Yokon, yep.
Except for part of his chest up to his head, and states he's gonna take his bending away permanently. Does energy bending? Because that's what we find out in Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's what it's called. That's where they. So he energy bends all of the bending away from Yokon. The thing that only the Avatar can do.
Yeah, just like being immune to blood bending as soon as you went to the Avatar state.
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
Like the Avatar can only do. And then we get back to Korra actually like, oh, you were warning me about Tarlok this whole time. As Tarlok walks in, he's like, curses, my plan has been foiled. I'm gonna run away, and you're coming with me. Yeah. And that's when the connection is made where Korra's like, yeah, and you know what? I know you're Yokon's son.
Oh, he's like, what?
and he's just like, you know what? Yeah, you're definitely going to be my hostage. Yeah. And I'm not going to be nice to you. Because he never was. As he goes up the stairs, he sees equalists, including Amon. He's just like, wait, what? Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're gonna do, Amon. You're gonna try to take my bending away. Well, joke's on you!
Yeah, does he knock out the other guys or just freezes them?
Well, he freezes them. Yeah, they all fall to the ground, and Amon's like, I'm being bloodbended. Psych, fool you, I can still move.
He just goes completely normal. He's like, what?
He's just like, It's like, wait, what's going on?
Immune to bloodbending somehow, and it's insane. He just gets to walking towards him like, what? How? And he tries it again. He's like, stop for a second, keeps going again. It's just like an insane Terminator scene.
Dude, it is crazy. And then all of a sudden, Amon does what he always does. Puts his thumb on the two places and says, goodbye to your bending, permanently.
Yeah.
Tarlok cannot bend anymore.
We hear a scream from downstairs while Korra's still in the platinum cage. Like, what the heck's happening up there?
And, Amon takes away Tarlok's bending, like the Avatar can do. And is immune to blood bending, like the Avatar can do,
Exactly.
but only in the Avatar state.
Yeah.
Just to note, there is nothing to signify that Amon's going into the Avatar state because there's like glowing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Amon doesn't show anything like that, so he's just straight up like resisting and like just immune to blood bending.
Somehow.
Just gonna point that out right now.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh my goodness, that was actually very crazy.
Yeah.
But after that, in typical Amon fashion, you better bring the Avatar up here. But make sure that she actually comes. Don't underestimate her.
Yep, and Lance Henriksen and the boys go down to the...
Lance and the boys go down there?
Yeah, they go down with their with his shock cattle prod things, and we see Korra just look... Is it her shirt she looks at? Or her sleeves?
I think it's like her wristband things.
Oh, wristbands, yeah. She takes those off, and then we see them on the outside. Lance Henriksen puts the sticks to it and shocks it, as we hear Korra, grumbling inside. Yeah, we cut to, and she's... yeah, she just said that. We see her holding herself up above the ground with the cloth thing, avoiding the electricity, and then drops to the floor to give them, when the electricity stops, and we hear them say, like, oh, okay, we're good. They open the door, see her passed out, she just immediately firebends, knocks them all out, just kicks their butts.
And then she goes right on outside, and Amon's just like...
Yeah, loading Tarlok. Is he loading Tarlok into a cart?
Yeah, well, either that or he's just like...
I think he was taking him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he was taking him inside of a cart.
And then at first Korra's like, I see you, and Amon's just like, really, guys?
Yeah, like,
and then,
it's ridiculous.
They almost have a little bit of a fight, but in the whole mess of chaos in the snow, because we never mentioned that there was snow here.
Yeah, I said snowy mountains.
Oh, did you actually say that?
Yeah.
Anyway, with all the snow and all the crazy chaos, she actually sleds down a hill without using anything.
Yeah,
and
a really cool snowboarding scene with Korra.
Right? And then, of course, Amon just, like, looks at Lance Henderson and he's like, I told you not to underestimate her. Stupid. I honestly, every time I see that scene where he's just like, I thought I told you not, I just picture him just like lightly smacking him. He's like, stupid.
We see Naga just wandering in the woods around the mountain, I guess.
Well, that or...
They mentioned earlier they didn't know where Naga was, and Tarlok didn't. Did Tarlok know where she was?
No. The only mention of Naga was Tenzin saying, yeah, but we can't... Because they're like, hey, let's use Naga to track her. And he's just like, Tenzin's like, we can't because we don't know where she is.
Yep.
That's all we know. And then we find out that
Naga
was tracking her.
Yep, and she finds her in the woods almost dead, picks her up, and carries her back to town?
Yep, goes all the way back to town, where we actually go to that night. And Tenzin and the crew are just like about to cash it in for the night, but they hear a howl, and it's just like, wait, a dog howl. Mako's first
above the city,
instinct, above the city, random dog howl. Instantly, Mako, that's Naga. Lie.
I wonder how many times he did that before it was Naga.
It's just somehow he just knows.
Yep, and on that solemn note, that's where the episode ends.
Yep, because they find Korra and they start carrying her.
Yeah.
And oh wow,
now that was a crazy good little arc of episodes.
Oh my goodness.
Now I know where the show's heading, but what were you thinking when you were watching those things go down between Yakone, between Tarlok, between
so
everything?
I already told you about Mr. Sato and how I felt about that.
Yeah.
As I've been hinting to all of you out there, I knew there was something wrong with Tarlok. I knew he was going to be a villain.
He was very overtly hostile.
It's very obvious because every time he makes a notion carry and stuff like that, he's got an evil smirk. He's a bad guy, but they never say it, so I'm just like, oh, well, okay. He's totally not a bad guy.
Yeah, just a weird dick.
And especially in that, I knew Tarlok was going to do something crazy with non-benders. He's always been pushing, gotta stop the equalists. Always pushing, non-benders are evil. And of course, the nameless other council people are just like, yeah, we agree.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, Tenzin's like, guys, this man is evil. As you see Tarlok's curly mustache and like evil monocle, he's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Motion carried.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But then I mean, I knew something was going to tip Korra over. And, stealing the friends, I didn't know, what was going to happen. So, taking her friends away, her actual team, I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
She was actually a lot calmer than I thought when she first went, because I thought she was just going to go in and just wreck everything instantly.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that she actually just
for Korra for
went,
once.
yeah, the fact that she just went in, not guns blazing, surprised me a bit. But, of course, the cliche, we are not so different, you and I. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, totally not villain Tarlok. But then, just that fight, knew it was going to happen. Knew there was going to be a fight. And I was like, okay, look at this. Something's going to happen. Like, maybe the police are going to come in and find out, she's attacking him, and Tarlok is going to, blame her or something like that. There were, 5 or 6 different scenarios playing out in my head. And then I heard that sound. The moment I heard that sound and I saw Korra stop, I'm like, this is not one of them. Dude, you have no idea. Just that sound itself just makes me cringe. And then just having an episode just about Korra meditating and actually focusing on what's... Loved it. Yeah. Beautifully...
Very classic Aang move, too.
Yeah, in typical Avatar: The Last Airbender, executed perfectly. Everything, was lined up correctly. Lin is a badass, like always. Always knew she was. Yep. I like the Lin better when she's kind of chill with Tenzin and Korra.
Of course,
not the stuck up, I hate you, Avatar.
Yeah, she's the chief.
Wait, well... She's still the chief, technically. Well, she calmed down.
She's a cool vigilante.
Well, now she's even cooler because she's a vigilante. And everything. I had a feeling that Tarlok was gonna have something bad happen to him. You probably have heard this one before, but I'm gonna say it again. There were 5 different scenarios playing out. Seeing Amon and having Amon take the bending away. Surprisingly, was not one of them.
Really? You didn't think that was...
Well, that was not one of the scenarios, because I thought... Because technically, Tarlok is just, more lawful evil than just, evil.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was going to get, jurisdiction, a more poetic kind... Well, a more, by the book kind of, he's in prison, kind of things like that. So, just having him straight up lose his bending, I'm just like... Wow, it actually, legitimately shocked me. I'm just wow, just Amon's just hey, how's it going? I'm in your house, stealing your bending.
Yeah, and not even to mention, just walking through bloodbending.
Yeah, dude, that was the biggest jaw-dropping moment. Yes, even bigger than just finding out that Tarlok could bloodbend.
Yeah.
Even bigger was the fact that Amon's just you're bloodbending me? I can do this. And it's just what are you...
Yeah, it's just...
we have technically 3 episodes left. I own the Blu-ray, so it says it's only 2, but we've got 3 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember,
just season 1.
But if I remember correctly, originally Legend of Korra was going to be a 1-season thing.
Yeah.
So this would have been the season finale, the series finale. Yeah. So. First off, I don't know how they're going to do the other 3 seasons, and if they're actually going to go...
Dude, I'm going to tell you, it's just going to get crazier.
But I just... Not knowing that there's only 3 episodes left of what would have been the entire series... Who the heck is Amon? I need to know what's under the mask.
It's... Well, yeah, that's, dude, the theory crafting and the crazy fans freaking out during the show when it was airing, it was insane.
Oh, my goodness.
It was so crazy.
And to think that for some reason I skipped out on Legend of Korra.
Yeah, you didn't watch it at the time.
At the time.
God, you missed out.
For some reason, I missed out. Now I'm watching it. I'm not necessarily kicking my butt over missing it because I'm watching it now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am kicking myself about it. It's one of those weird things.
Yeah, it's great. The show, it's so good. It gets crazier.
I said it once before in a previous episode. Biggest thing I like about this is a bit of the darker tone they're taking.
Yeah.
With Aang, it was somewhat lighthearted, but it had serious moments.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of serious stuff.
It's all serious with some lighthearted.
Yeah.
I like the contrast.
Very, very cool.
we gotta end this episode sometime.
Oh, yeah.
So
all right, yeah, it's a great episode. It's gonna get good. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time for more Young Justice, and then after that we will see the finale of Korra, of season 1 of Korra, and then
which actually begs the question: since there are 4 seasons of Korra, right?
Yeah.
We're finishing season 1.
Yeah.
Are we just gonna go straight into season 2, or are we gonna?
Well, we'll figure that out on the finale episode.
That's right. We haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out on the finale episode. All right, well, we'll signing off now, just to leave you guys on those crazy notes. I'm Matthew Lewis. My plugs are for Matthew Lewis P on Twitter, Matthew Lewis Podcasts on Patreon, and what's the other one I was using? YouTube, where you're probably seeing this. And then also, Matthew Lewis Podcasts on those things. Check them out. Also, my Forgotten Minotaur King Story podcast. Ben, do you have any pluggies?
Not yet, but maybe if I can talk to Matt Lewis about this, maybe we can get a Facebook page going on.
That would be good too when we eventually get this
done. We'll keep in touch on that one, but I still have no personal plugs of my own. Mm-hmm. It may sound like I'm actually against social media, which I'm not, but we'll figure something out. But in the meantime, this is Ben Sturgeon.
This is Matthew Lewis, and keep it sleazy. I'm gonna say it this time. You're not gonna steal it. All right,
keep it sleazy.